Hello everyone, my name is Stefan Sabao and since 2018 I have been working in Ukraine as a team leader of the European funded project to support the Anti-Monopoly Committee of Ukraine to enforce state aid rules in the country. We call the project the SESAR project and you can find more information on our or on AMKU's communication platforms. In brief, the aim of our project is to support the development of an effective state aid control and monitoring system in Ukraine. Why we are here and why we are doing this? It is a very simple answer basically. Ukraine and the European Union have concluded a very well known already among everybody association agreement. Among other provisions, there are very important conditions related to state aid. State aid is a tool used intensively in the European Union by all member states in order to develop, strengthen and consolidate the so-called internal market. And it is needless to say what strong markets, economies bring as benefits for the European Union citizens. We all know how developed the European Union is, and one of the key issues of the strength is a very competitive internal market the European Union has, with companies who are acting following rules that ensure fair competition on markets, and where in general states are limited in intervening into the economies. Actually, according to the Treaty of Functioning of the European Union, state aid is allowed only when the state support measures are targeted to clear objectives they want to achieve and in order to ensure a coherent, sustainable development and where these goals are not performed or not sufficiently performed well by markets themselves. Having this said, it is obvious and I'm very happy to underline that enhanced cooperation between Ukraine and the European Union is first and foremost an opportunity for every citizen of Ukraine to benefit from increased welfare. This can be achieved only when companies are really competing between each other to become more innovative, more efficient, and ready to provide customers, citizens, with higher quality goods and services at lower prices and tariffs. State aid is contributing a lot to this end, and by signing the association agreement and assuming a very ambitious roadmap to implement such rules, Ukraine has expressed its readiness to change. The reforms that have been implemented in recent years show concrete steps followed by the Ukrainian authorities to take the country closer and closer to the European Union. On medium and long term, this means opportunities for investments, this means new jobs, this means a better quality of life, which is the ultimate aim for each one of us. I will keep saying again and again that according to the association agreement, through state aid rules, we can all ensure that state support to any undertaking, being it private or state-owned, is well targeted and clearly reflected in terms of usage by any beneficiary. This is even more important, especially when we look or we talk about enterprises which receive compensations for the so-called provision of public services in any form. And to this end, the state support, the state aid basically, should correctly be reflected in separate accounts which clearly show the usage of public money and the amounts encountered as revenues from the provision of such services. First of all, as a general rule, yes, everybody should understand that revenues and expenditures related to the provision of services of general economic interest should be separated from revenues and expenditures from any other economic activities performed by such enterprises. Secondly, complete information should be identified and disclosed on the methods by which revenues and expenditures are allocated to different activities. This is as a transparency requirement. And such methods should be based on the accounting principles of conditionality, objectivity, transparency, and consistency in accordance with internationally recognized accounting methodologies. To put it more simply, yes, if an enterprise simultaneously conducts activities that fall into the field of services of general economic interest, as well as other economic activities, the internal accounts should reflect the revenues and expenditures related to the provision of services of general economic interest separately from other services or other economic activities performed by the same company. We, the project, the SESAR project, understood very well and are very aware of the fact that such concepts are not at all simple, both in theory and in practice. Therefore, in a very proactive manner, we have engaged the best experts and started providing adequate technical support in this direction. On one hand, we have provided professional support in communication between Anti-Monopoly Committee of Ukraine and the Ministry of Finance of Ukraine. The main task of the Ministry of Finance of Ukraine is to ensure that formation and implementation of state financial, budgetary and debt policy, as well as state policy in intergovernmental relation and local budget, accounting and auditing. As a result of our joint and very fruitful, I would say, cooperation, AMKU has received a clarifying letter from the Ministry of Finance of Ukraine on the aspects of organization of accounting and financial reporting in order to ensure the separate accounting of revenues and expenditures, as well as other accounting issues. This letter is published on our project website, so it's very easy for you to consult it. On the other hand, the project's experts, together with the AMCU, have developed practical recommendations for the reflection in the accounting of funds or financial support to undertakings, which are also published on Anti-Monopoly Committee's official website. In our opinion, such practical recommendations will help accountants to build appropriate systems of accounting for revenues and expenditures in accordance with the current legislation of Ukraine and also with Ukraine's obligation under the association agreement. I want to assure you all that the project is very, very pleased to provide professional support not only to state institutions of Ukraine, but also to Ukrainian accountants. In December this year, in December 2021, with the support of the project, a practical webinar was held for the accountants of municipal enterprises of Kiev City State Administration, with the topic Reflection of Financial Support to Undertakings in the Accountancy. It was a very successful webinar, and I'm happy to inform you that more than 100 employees of Kiev municipal companies and Kiev administration attended this webinar here, where together with the senior expert of the project, our certified auditor and tax consultant, Mrs. Olena Makieva, they discussed relevant issues regarding specifics of accounting, of revenues and expenditures, and received answers to all their questions raised during the discussions. We are ready to continue to organize such professional platforms for training and professional discussions of all stakeholders, yes, both authorities and accountants. And therefore, next year we are preparing educational videos for the professional community, which will help all stakeholders, as mentioned, to rectify the systems of accounting and financial reporting, because public finance is the gold standard of conducting any businesses and any activities in general. I will soon give the floor to Olena Makieva. She is today with us and she will be helping us to develop further the videos I have mentioned before. I'm very happy and proud to have Olena in our project. Her huge expertise, both in private sectors and in public sectors at very high level, I'm sure will make the communication easier for you all and knowledge will be transferred in a more practical way. And finally, because New Year is approaching, I would like to thank you very much and to everyone for our fruitful cooperation we had so far, and to wish you joy, health and success for the future. So, Happy New Year to all of you. Stay with us in 2022 and send us as many questions as you may have. We will be, of course, happy to address them all. Olena, thanks a lot for being with the project and for contributing a lot to our outcomes. The floor is yours now.
Привіт всім! З вами Олена Макієва, я професійний бухгалтер та сертифікований аудитор. Я щиро рада бути залученою в якості старшого експерта до роботи проекту Євросоюзу «Підтримка Антимонопольного комітету України» у впровадженні правил державної допомоги, створювати професійні проекти разом із провідними світовими експертами та брати участь в освітніх програмах для дуже широкого кола бухгалтерів та аудиторів України. Разом з фахівцями проекту ми вирішили підготувати освітні відеовипуски, присвячені питанням відображення в бухгалтерському обліку коштів фінансової підтримки суб'єктів господарювання. Я знаю, що найбільше турбує бухгалтерів, з якими викликами вони зустрічаються щодня. Наскільки важлива наша з вами бухгалтерська робота? Моє завдання дуже просте. По-перше, донести широкому загалу керівників та бухгалтерів підприємств, які отримують державну фінансову підтримку, важливість питання коректного відображення в окремих бухгалтерських рахунках доходів і витрат, пов'язаних із діяльністю, на яку спрямовується така підтримка, від іншої діяльності, а також параметрів розподілу таких доходів та витрат. По-друге, надати практичні рекомендації з організації бухгалтерського обліку, методу розподілення рахунків. В наступних відео ми поговоримо з вами про законодавчі аспекти розподілення рахунків, про облікову політику, про бухгалтерський облік доходів, а також коштів цільового фінансування, як групувати та розподіляти доходи та витрати, та як найкраще організувати планування, облік і калькулювання собівартості робіт та послуг, та про багато іншого. Абсолютно точно, наші випуски будуть максимально практичними та корисними для вас. Я планую розглянути з вами практичні кейси з нашого бухгалтерського буремного життя. Ми також готуємо спеціальний випуск з запитання та відповіді. Отже, ви можете залишити ваші запитання під цим відео, і ми обов'язково відповімо на них. Слідкуйте за новинами проекту та Антимонопольного комітету України у соціальних мережах. До наступних зустрічей!